Field researchers conduct careful surveys, listening for calls, tracking nesting patterns, and being where to clear land, policymakers enforcing environmental laws, developers weighing profit against preservation, and citizens understanding that wildlife loss is not distant, but local. Education plays a powerful role here. When people learn that a bird exists only in their region, nowhere else in the world, it changes perspective. Pride replaces indifference. Responsibility replaces neglect. The Ibadan Malimbe becomes not just a scientific concern, but a cultural and natural heritage. There is also a larger lesson in its story. The Malimbe reminds us that biodiversity is not evenly distributed. Some species occupy vast ranges. Others, like this bird, live on the edge, geographically and ecologically. They survive only when conditions are just right. And in a rapidly changing world, just right is becoming rare. Climate change adds another layer of uncertainty. Shifting rainfall patterns affect forest growth. Extreme weather disrupts breeding cycles. Even small changes can have outsized effects on species already under pressure. Still, nature has shown remarkable resilience when given space and time. Where forests are protected, birds return. Where human activity is managed responsibly, ecosystems recover. Conservation is not about freezing nature in time. It is about allowing life to continue adapting. The Ibadan Malimbe's survival is possible, but it is not guaranteed. Its fate will be decided not by chance, but by intention. Will forests be viewed merely as land to be converted, or as living systems worth defending? Will rare species be seen as obstacles to development, or as indicators of environmental health? Will future generations hear the Malimbe's call, or only learn of it through recordings and textbooks? These questions extend beyond one bird and one city. They challenge us to reconsider our relationship with nature. Because protecting the Ibadan Malimbe is not just about saving a species. It is about choosing balance over excess, stewardship over neglect, legacy over convenience. As the sun rises higher over Ibadan, the forest quiets. The Malimbe retreats into the canopy, unseen but not unheard. Its song lingers, a reminder that some voices in nature are faint, and once silenced, cannot be restored. Whether that song continues is up to us.
The Ibadan Malembe is such a beautiful creature. The fact that you know that it's in Niger and in Ibadan is such, there's this experience that seeing that bird, I think one of these days I have to go look at it myself, one-on-one.
Okay, and not just
remember we had a researcher who came and said that it is indeed
a lecturer at the University of Ibadan.
Yes, and he made us understand that it's a beautiful bird, as which we could see in the future there, to see that it's here. But I think he gave us a fear that it might go extinct because of the way we are treating our environment.
And to come to think about it, it's when you talk about extinction, or you talk about the Ibadan Malimbe, you have to understand the fact that it's not like every other bird.
Nope.
Some birds can easily migrate. For example, during the rainy season, you don't see cattle egress around.
At all.
They migrate to other parts of the world. And when the dry season returns and we have cattle roaming everywhere, they return. But the Malimbe cannot just do that. It's a bird that lives on the edge. So it needs the forest lands of Ibadan, its home.
So the more we keep felling the trees, we keep not keeping the environments, we are really not helping the Ibadan Malimbe. A lot of people from across the world come down to Ibadan to actually see this bird, the Ibadan Malimbe.
Someone asked me a question when I was advocating for the bird, and it was like, say, look, are you saying we have more people coming into Ibadan? If we don't build asking us to keep the forest alive. So what exactly are we supposed to do? Leave the forest or Ibadan and go somewhere else?
No. We're not saying that.
We're saying there should be a balance, okay?
You have to balance it.
Yes. If it doesn't, it's not too much. We have the older national park. We can have where we know the birds are, we can protect that particular environment for them.
And they might even, it's a way of us even bringing in tourism into that particular area. Because if tourism could be an avenue of us generating income for the state. So if the Bado Malembe is protected and it doesn't go extinct, it's another means of having to bring in a revenue.
Yeah, what came to my mind is, okay, have I seen, I don't think there is, if there is any, you can correct me when you see me.
Yeah.
But the reality is, I don't think there is any, company in Ibadan, whether now public or private, that uses this bird as a logo.
Really? So now you're giving them the idea?
Yes, please, go ahead.
Maybe we are supposed to submit and make money out of it.
What? The idea?
Now you've given them the idea.
The idea is to protect the bird.
You will just see one company come up with the Malembe product.
I make it, that would be nice. Seriously. We just do, this is charity for the bird.
Anyway.
For Ibadan Malembe. Let's
I
protect
mean, we can actually
Malembe.
have that product.
Yes. Seriously. I think even for your state, it does nothing wrong. Because you might say, okay, it's a small bird, but it's a symbol of resilience.
Yeah, we could actually have
strong.
the Ibadan Malembe. No, we could have the Malembe tissue paper.
Yeah, exercise book.
We are giving out ideas, Mr.
We can also have...
We are not giving ideas again. No, we are going to submit it to them. We are going to make money out of it.
Okay, so...
We're going to make money out of it.
It's fun, but seriously, this bird is part of our heritage. So when you talk about culture and what you own as a people, you look at your environment, it's what you're blessed with.
Yeah.
So, and not just that, what you're blessed with goes beyond just, your culture, your dressing and everything. Ibadan Malimbe is part of it. Heritage of Ibadan. So let's protect the Ibadan Malimbe. The forest land, it needs to actually procreate. Let's protect those places. And let's do something to make sure that this bird doesn't become a story we just tell our kids in the future. But we can actually go to a place and say,
let's show them that that's the Ibadan Malembe.
And they can actually rejoice at something and enjoy something that generations before them also had a privilege of enjoying and experiencing. And that's what we're saying. So the bird has nowhere to go. It's that we protect it or we kill it. So it's up to us.
We cannot even eat it, so.
When I say kill it, like we let it go extinct. And
at the end of the day,
you just say Ibadan Malembe is for the history books.
No way, we don't want that.
We don't want that to happen. So let's do all we can to protect the Ibadan Malembe. A beautiful bird, I must say.
Very beautiful.
Okay, so it's still the mid-morning show right here. We're having our chit-chat right here. I hope you are enjoying what you've been offering you. Now, we're going to take this break. One more time. Another conversation is up. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back. It's good to know that you're still there. It's still the mid-morning show right here, the Monday edition, and we are this privilege, but we're not having a guest today. So we're taking you through quite a lot of things we've brought to you before you in times past. FSCs is very, very important for things that we want, made a reality. And that's why we're going through all this today. And we do hope that you are enjoying them, even as we offer them to you. Now, please let's have that quote back on the screen. That's a lengthy one, but it has a lot to tell us.
Yeah.
That quote on the screen, please. Can we have that quote back on the screen?
think the quote was talking on consistency.
Okay, that's it. And we will love only what we understand, and we will understand only what we are taught. So, awareness
is key.
Without awareness,
there will be no love.
There will be no
understanding. For whatever.
Awareness will lead to understanding, and that understanding will lead to love, which will now drive our hands to do what we need to do to protect and conserve what
our
nature has offered us. Yeah, beautiful quote there. Okay, so let's see. Now, you see, there has been this conversation for a very long time. We'll say, it's only women you celebrate 3 times in a year. But when it comes to men, you celebrate them only once. Some men say that. So
I know, it's always been a battle of why is it that women have more days, international days, than men, and why do girls have more international days than boys? There's always this back and forth about it. Then there's one time I had to sit myself down to analyze it, and I realized that women have a way of just celebrating themselves on a normal day. Even as a woman is dressing up and she's looking at herself in the mirror, she's hyping herself. So I guess it's a way women tend to hype themselves. They know how to do it. Unlike men, their hyping is on another level. Their hyping might be come together for a conference, do this chitty-chatty, wear your suits and all that. But for women, it's the hype.
I agree with you.
It's the glamour. Yeah. So there's a way it looks like we are doing way too much, but it's just who we are.
Okay. Now, I was having a conversation with a lady not so long ago, and she was telling me that, okay, the reason it seems that women are more in our faces than men are is because women have a way of kind of amplifying whatever it is they do. When you tell stories, there is this emotional side to stories you tell.
Okay.
The stories, in fact, I'm telling, you were told so many stories while you were growing up. Folk tales, I mean.
Yeah.
The ones you remember are the ones that had a lot of emotion.
True.
Okay, those stories kind of stick with you.
Yeah.
Now, when women tell their stories to talk about things they do, there is so much emotion.
Yeah, there's this drama.
So it sticks
storytelling
the brain of those who hear it. But for men, society taught men to be silent. You bear it with dignity. So men are mistaking silence for dignity.
Yeah.
So just keep quiet and say, okay, well, no problem. But the truth of the matter is that, yes, you're doing quite a lot, but you get forgotten because you do not tell your story.
Silence. Because even when men gather to do an event, and there's a hall where women are doing the event, there's a whole lot of difference. My God, there's color, there's noise. But for the men, there's this, everybody, what's up, hi. This kind of...
Men have to change the way they actually tell their story.
So they need to do a whole lot of storytelling.
I was talking about reading a book, and the book says something about, men, for example, in your home, your wife says something like, okay, this is not fair. Okay, there's something is dead in the house. I told you this last week, and it's still not done. So it is not about trying to, shut her down or not acknowledge the fact that that particular need is valid. But saying something like, I apologize for that. I should have done it. I didn't do that because maybe Junior's school fees came up. So you have to do that. Yeah. Say it.
And don't just keep quiet.
Okay. Well, some instead of speaking or explaining, will keep quiet, and then we'll get angry and resent the wife. So if you keep doing that...
So what we are saying is that there's a whole lot of weight men are carrying. Right?
Yes, there's a whole lot of weight men are carrying. And the truth of the matter is, I don't know if you saw the particular clip online, where Kiki, that's her name, said something about, okay, I don't want to care about what you do, whatever it is you do to do this and do. I know where she's coming from. I know she and her crew try to correct maltreatment, by men, their families and all that. So which is quite commendable.
True.
But I also understand when she said that, there's a possibility that could be misconstrued. Now, the fact is, men bear a lot.
They do.
That's the reality.
They do.
Now, society says don't speak out. Bear it with grace.
They don't have to.
So, but men should begin to change that orientation.
Speak it.
It doesn't mean you are, I'm not saying fight women. No.
Speak your mind.
We are complementary in our roles in the home. So, but there's something wrong in making known what you do. Not like you're trying to, Yoruba. Let me put it that way. So, but in this case, it's more like an acknowledgement of what you have done.
Yeah.
Okay, this is it. This is why I'm not doing this. When people understand you, they wouldn't see you as, okay, he's unconcerned. Because that's the issue. When he's not talking, when he's keeping quiet because he thinks that's dignity. Your family members misunderstand you.
Already.
As far as they are concerned, your silence means you're not concerned.
Or you're trying to pay back.
Exactly. So when you say, okay, fine, that's it,
no problem.
They paint you black. So speak out. Men, that particular era of, are you a woman, has gone.
Forget it. Cry it out.
Say it. Okay, so let's celebrate ourselves. And yes, women in the lives of these men, acknowledge what they do.
So I know this feature is good. A lot of men will totally understand that they don't need to carry the weight.
Yes, please share the weight. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So let's go see this feature. The weight they carry in celebration of men. We'll be right back.
There is a kind of strength that does not announce itself. It does not arrive with applause. It does not ask to be noticed. It wakes before the rest of the house stirs. It leaves before the light fully settles on the day, and it returns, often long after conversations have ended and exhaustion has taken its place at the table. This is the quiet architecture of fatherhood. Across homes, cities, and generations, fathers occupy a space that is at once central and overlooked. They are providers, protectors, teachers, disciplinarians, and, in many cases, silent emotional anchors. Yet their labor is often rendered invisible, not because it is small, but because it is assumed. Assumed to be normal, assumed to be automatic, assumed to require no acknowledgement. But behind every assumption is a reality that rarely gets spoken aloud. A father's responsibility is rarely singular. It stretches across roles that demand contradiction. He is expected to be firm but gentle, present but unintrusive, successful but sacrificial, emotionally stable but rarely afforded space to express his own fragility. And so, many fathers learn early, sometimes too early, that their feelings are secondary to their function. They learn to absorb pressure without leaking it, to carry expectation without dropping it, to turn worry into action and fear into silence. In countless households, a father's effort is measured only by outcomes: the roof over heads, the food on the table, the school fees paid, the emergencies managed, the future quietly negotiated in advance. Rarely is it measured by the emotional cost of getting those things done. And yet, even in silence, their presence is formative. A child learns resilience not only from what is said, but from what is consistently done. From the man who shows up even when he is tired. From the one who solves problems that were never meant to reach the child's ears. From the steady figure who makes sacrifice look like routine. But there is another side to this story that is less often acknowledged. Fathers are frequently diminished in the very spaces where they give the most. Their absence is quickly noted, but their presence is slowly overlooked. Their mistakes are magnified, but their consistency is normalized. Their provision is expected, but their appreciation is optional. Even in moments of celebration, their emotional interior often remains unexamined, like a room always used, but rarely entered. What happens to a man who is always expected to be strong, but seldom allowed to be seen as human? What becomes of a life defined more by responsibility than recognition? And yet, despite this imbalance, fathers persist. They persist in systems that rarely pause to thank them. They persist in economies that stretch effort thin. They persist in family structures that depend on their reliability, even when reliability costs them rest, comfort, and sometimes even identity. There are fathers who are present in every sense of the word, physically, emotionally, financially. There are fathers who struggle but still show up. There are fathers who rebuild after loss, who start again after failure, who carry families through uncertainty without ceremony. And there are fathers whose efforts are not always perfect, but are nonetheless sincere, human, and deeply consequential. To speak of fatherhood is not to idealize it. It is to recognize its weight. A weight carried across generations. A weight often passed down without instruction manuals. A weight managed in silence, because silence is what was inherited. And still, within that silence, there is devotion. Not always loud, not always polished, but steady. So on this Father's Day, the question is not only what fathers do, but what it costs them to do it without acknowledgement. What does it mean to build a life for others while rarely being asked about your own? What does it mean to be the foundation while rarely being seen as part of the structure worth admiring? Perhaps recognition is not about grand gestures. Perhaps it begins with something simpler, the willingness to see fathers not only as roles, but as people. Not only as providers, but as participants in the emotional fabric of family life. Not only as strength, but as human beings who also carry need, fatigue, and hope. Because beneath the title, father, is a person who is also learning, also struggling, also becoming. And if strength is what has long defined them, then perhaps it is time to expand what strength looks like, to include presence, sacrifice, endurance, and yes, the quiet dignity of being overlooked and still continuing. So today, we do not only celebrate fathers. We recognize them, we see them, and we acknowledge the invisible labor that has long held so many lives together. Not as an afterthought, but as something indispensable, because without it, much of what stands would quietly fall apart.
A lot of was said
to our fathers, well done.
Thank you.
We thank you for all that you do.
That weight and acknowledge it, and do what you can to celebrate the men in your life. You know, those fathers whose shoulders carry you. Yeah, they carry us through quite a lot.
True.
So let's acknowledge them the same way we acknowledge our moms. Yeah. They are all important.
We should acknowledge our fathers as well.
Yeah. So with that beautiful one, we'll wrap up this conversation segment. We'll be moving on to the entertainment segment right about now. So we'll take this break just for a bridge. When we're back, the entertainment segment starts. Don't go anywhere.